great patron of this mic, very funny comic. Please get your butt up here, Ian Zai. Yes. Woo. Ian.
Nola Kitchen and Bar.
Yes.
All 100 of us.
Yeah.
Woo! All right. It's a new year. I'm learning a lot of New Year's a good time to learn new things about yourself. One thing I've recently learned is that I might not be as Jewish looking as I thought I was. No, it's a weird thing. Like I said that at some other show, and this lady stood up in the back and went, "Yes, you are." I'm getting just things from all over the place too. Somebody told me, "Ian, until you opened your mouth, I thought you were Italian." I don't know how to behave anymore, right? Like I was leaving a Hanukkah bar and there were these two Orthodox guys outside raising money for their synagogue. And as I was leaving, they went, "Excuse me, sir, are you Jewish?" And I went, "Not right now." I'm just catching strays from all over. I mean, someone told me I look like Kyle Rittenhouse.
Oh,
They told me I should do comedy about that. I'm gonna pass. I think material like that might end up shooting me in the back. I mean, biting me in the ass. Slip of the tongue. No. It is to celebrate the new year. I went down and visited my family in South Florida, which was fun, right? Like I got to spend some time with my grandma. Got to explain the ending of Get Out to her. No, me and my grandma, we have a lot of fun, right? Like I taught her how to play Grand Theft Auto. What a wonderful way to discover your grandma just loves beating the shit out of hookers. No, thank you guys, all of you guys, for coming out on a Thursday. Yeah. Huge crowd. I love going out. I do tend to get myself into situations when I go out, right? I'm a little bit dumb. No, like I was at a bar and I was dancing with a group of my friends and this girl came over and she put this vape looking thing in my face. So naturally I went to smoke it. And she goes, "No, smell it." So I just smelled this random item like a normal person would. And I don't think much of it until about 30 seconds later when my eyes go wide and I'm like, "Oh shit, those were drugs." And I asked her, I'm like, "Hey, what did I just do?" And she's like, "Poppers." And I'm like, "All right, I can handle this, right?" Like I had gay friends in college. They kept me in the loop, right? No, like for those of you who don't know, poppers are a muscle relaxant that gay men tend to use for anal sex. So my first thought was, man, I'm gonna have a great poop tonight. Like if it's good for stuff going in, it's gotta be good for stuff going out. It's a two-way street, right? I know all 100 of you are thinking, Ian, how did you not know you were doing drugs? I don't really consider smelling a drug kind of way. I don't think that's the way you really consume drugs, right? Smelling is for sniffing flowers. Like snorting, that's for drugs. Shooting, swallowing, smoking, suppositories. Like, that's how you do drugs. Honestly, it gave me a whole new understanding of the saying, "Stop and smell the roses." No, I told a friend about this and he just went, "Ian, didn't you just ever huff marker fumes as a kid?" No, I was drawing. We were both having a blast in art class just for very different reasons. I do some drugs though, no, mainly antidepressants. I love them, I love those little fucking pills. No, getting prescribed them was an interesting experience, right? Like I went to the doctor and they ask you all those very standard questions of, do you drink? Yes. What drugs do you do? Just weed. Have you been to the Horn of Africa recently? Standard stuff. And I get my prescription and I like to be safe, and I ask my doctor, I'm like, "Hey, what can I do and not do while I'm on this medicine?" And she looks at me and goes, "Well, don't do any psychedelics, but you can do as much cocaine as you want." I don't know what about this is screaming lies about his coke usage. Do I look like, I'm very confident I don't look like I work in finance. I might just have a really pro-cocaine doctor. Like that might, which kind of scares me, right? Like I was afraid the next time I'd go in, she'd be like, Ian, I know you were thinking about experimenting with heroin. All right. No, I guess this screams does coke, but I know this really doesn't scream has a lot of platonic female friends. I don't understand it either. I do though. I love my female friends. They're great. We learn a lot from each other, right? Like we both hate Tinder, and they hate Tinder because they get dick pics. I hate Tinder because it keeps trying to pair me with women in Malaysia. Nothing against Malaysian women, just would prefer they weren't 8,000 miles away. I think one of two things are happening, right? Either one, my friend is using that new matchmaker feature, and he's messing with me and the app just isn't letting me know. Because the alternative is that the algorithm we've designed to find us love or just someone to sleep with has decided my only hope is giving someone a green card. And I have friends, and they're always like, Ian, there's someone for you. You have your one. I don't really believe there's a one, right? Like that's a relationship you build. I do believe in math, and the numbers aren't promising right now. No, I am. Listen, they do learn a lot from me, right? Like I just taught all of my friends about selective service, the draft. They didn't know about it. They didn't know that when you're a man in the United States and you turn 18, you have to go sign up for selective service in case they ever decide to bring back the draft. And I tell them about this, and they're like, Ian, that's fucked up. You and all the other men should go march on Washington to prove a point. I think that just might prove that they're right. We're gonna march into the middle of DC, and they're gonna march us right into the Middle East. Right, but there's ways to get out of it too. Like I have a friend who has eczema, so he's exempt from the draft. He's exempt from it. He gets itchy skin, doesn't have to go. And there's a lot of weird ways to get out of it. Right? Like that. You do DoorDash, you don't have to go. No, one of them, my favorite is if you have braces, the Army will just wait for you. They don't have a time limit either. They'll wait as long as it takes. That's cosmetic. A pretty smile has never helped someone win a fight against an AK-47. It's not a fair matchup. No. Do you know what isn't an exemption though? ADHD. Because the ideal army is made up of people who forget everything and get distracted by anything. Listen, war, I don't know much about war, but I imagine it's pretty stressful and it really messes with the senses. And I get overwhelmed by slot machines at casinos. It is not a place for people like me. You know what people with ADHD are good at? Not shutting up. Not helpful when you're trying to hide from a sniper. I'm just happy it's only the Army, because I get distracted by clouds on the ground. Try putting me in the goddamn Air Force. No, I am just lucky to have friends, right? I'm fortunate, because growing up I got bullied a lot. That was something that happened, and it sucked. I also just had weirdly creative bullies, which made it worse, right? I'd be sitting at the cafeteria table eating a sandwich, and one of my bullies would come up to me and he'd be like, "Hey, Ian, I bet you can't even come yet." Genius insult, because what am I gonna do? Prove him wrong? The cafeteria posters say, "Got milk, not got cum." I kind of just had to sit there and be like, how could he have known? No, I'll leave you guys with one more story from about me getting bullied. I tried to fight one of my bullies, right? Mainly because he was the only one shorter than me. And essentially we go outside, we're getting ready to fight, we're circling around each other, people are kind of crowding up, and I'm thinking, because I'm in middle school, I gotta say something tough. I gotta sound real tough here. I gotta curse at him. What should I say? And I'm thinking back to all the movies I've seen, and I'm gonna tell him to go fuck himself. But what instead comes out is, "Hey, do you wanna fuck?" Thank you guys, I'm Ian Zine, that's my time.
Yeah, keep it up. Keep it up.
Oh.
Ah!